myself and colleagues, Dr. Mamazigo and Professor Kazembe, decided to participate in this journal because it is needful for us to be able to evaluate and explore opportunities on how the macroeconomic policies can be reviewed or reworked so that they cater for a job-led growth and recovery for the economies in sub-Saharan Africa. So as we know very well, this part of the world has been hard hit during the COVID pandemic, and it continues to be hard hit as nations across the globe explore opportunities on how to deal with the issue of COVID-19. So really, that was the motivation for us, and really to see how we can also contribute to new ways of thinking in this very difficult time, which has come forth with new energies, new forms of doing things, and what is generally being referred to as the new normal. The paper presents a different macroeconomic scenario of COVID-19 with particular focus on the impact on economic growth in sub-Saharan Africa. And also in the process, the paper tries to identify the main areas where policy support is required and how it can be effected, and also to identify areas of recovery and how, whether they are going to be long-term or medium-term during this time of COVID. So now the main issue here is when COVID happened in sub-Saharan Africa, it led to changes in forms of work. So in other words, you find that many people are constantly working from home, which speaks to the question of technology and its effectiveness in sub-Saharan Africa. And then there are those who have become more informally employed, and also there are those that have lost employment during this time. Now, we can probably also just peg the issue of gender, where we are saying, for example, the female-headed households, things have also changed significantly because in those households, the women have also become carers of the people that have become sick or that have become incapacitated in their households as a result of COVID. So that is one of the things. So we have also looked at we have also found that there is a change in unemployment and the working hours generally, where we are saying that the unemployment and the working hours depicts in three forms. For example, unemployment rates, inactivity, and underemployment. So these are some of the things that comes out in the paper. But also we are saying we explore the policy space to, and the paper makes suggestions as to how policy space can be dealt with. To say sub-Saharan countries need to review their policy space, especially the macroeconomic one, so that it speaks to the context that we find ourselves, where lockdowns have been persistent. And you know that when the lockdown happens, a lot of economic activities come to standstill. So the macroeconomic space needs to appreciate the new context where we find ourselves. And also the paper is more calling on countries in sub-Saharan Africa to begin to appreciate the 4 ILO pillars that were introduced at this time to say how are countries able to come out of this pandemic, and the pillars somehow creates a space on how countries can really deal with the situation. The first pillar, for example, that deals with stimulation of the economy and labor. This has to be explored at various levels as well, to say the finance policies, the economic policies, and the labor policies need to be relooked at so that an environment is created that will cater or that will lead to recovery. The second pillar, which relates to supporting businesses and jobs, we have seen in certain countries, governments have supported businesses, but there was a significant administrative red tape that also then led to the slow pace of progress or even recovery during the COVID moment. And then the third pillar really that focuses on the protection of workers, because trade unions at the end of the day and employers alike need to start to look at how workers can be protected at the workplace, the review of OSH policies, because we are operating in the pandemic context. And then also really the utilization of social dialogue that needs to be strengthened, that needs to be enhanced, so that countries in sub-Saharan Africa do not end up with contexts where they are not able to agree on certain common issues that may lead to economic recovery, that may lead to harmonious work relationships at the workplace, and generally improve industrial relations. Because at the end of the day, we are saying that the macroeconomic policy environment is the one that needs to be improved, rethought, so that recovery can be realized. And this is irrespective whether it is medium term or long term.